Welcome, Anthony and Rita.
I was scrolling through Facebook when I saw a picture. It's a young African-American guy. He took my social media marketing class at Capital University. And when he left Capital University, he's one of the few students that hustled and went and got a job. And he actually got a job in the field of social media marketing. And he went out and he bought himself a brand new BMW 3 Series. It's all white, and there's a picture of him leaning on his car. And the caption says, "All this and I came from nothing." And I read that line and I thought, I came from nothing. I get that sentiment, I understand it. But as I looked at the picture, it dawned on me, I didn't come from nothing. My mom was the middle child of my grandmother's 5 children. 2 boys, my mom, 2 more boys. They had no money. But my grandmother, on a secretary's salary, found a way to send all of them to Catholic school. So all 5 children attended Catholic school. My mom wearing the same school uniform every year because it was bought at the largest size available so the hem could be let out as she grew every year. I see nodding heads, you know the story. They had no money, no food. Her husband was an alcoholic, my grandmother, and he left when she kicked him out. He cleaned up, he came back, and immediately got back on the bottle. They had no money, but they always had enough food that they could share with neighborhood kids and with anybody else who needed anything. My grandmother loved her family unconditionally. It was the most important thing in her life. She didn't come from nothing. My father's father never married his mother. The first 7 years of his life was spent in foster homes. In these homes, he was physically and emotionally abused for the first 7 years of his life. In one of the homes, he literally had to cover himself with blankets and curl them underneath him to prevent his body from being harmed as rats and cockroaches would run over him at night. He was in fear for the first 7 years of his life. His mother loved him unconditionally, but he had no money. Later, when he was 18 and his father died, he discovered that the reason his father never married his mother is because he already had a family in Boston, a real family, where he was married. And he sent those children to college, and they were both very successful doctors and psychiatrists. When his father died, he reached out to them, but they wouldn't acknowledge his existence. They wouldn't respond to him because they were worried he was coming after their share of the money. He didn't come from nothing. My father left my mother when I was 7 years old. She had 4 children herself, plus 2 from his prior marriage. When he left, she kept the other 2 children because she loved them unconditionally. Their mother eventually came and took them away because my mom had a high school diploma, no driver's license, no car, and no job. So there was no way anybody could conceive how she was going to take care of all these kids herself, except her, because she'd seen the model. She knew that by loving her kids, that was going to be enough. And she knew she was going to find a way to take care of us. So all 5 of us moved into a 3-bedroom apartment with 1 bathroom. And if you know what it's like getting ready for work when you have a bunch of kids, imagine 5 people all trying to go through this single bathroom that we have in the house between 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning. It was madness. I shared a room with my younger brother until I was 17 years old. We had bunk beds. I wanted nothing more than my own space. So when I was 17, my mom bought a small house on land contract after she started a business, and I slept on the couch in the basement, but at least I had my space. We had no money, none, but we had something that was more important. We had unconditional love. So I didn't come from nothing. I came from the unrelenting and unyielding love of a mother who would do anything to take care of her children and her family. I came from a woman with a belief in me that was so strong that even when there was no reason to believe in me, and I gave her plenty of reasons to doubt, plenty, even when there was no reason to think that I could succeed, she believed in me unconditionally. Because that's what unconditional love is. There's no conditions. It doesn't matter what happens. That love is more powerful. It overwhelms everything else. She believed in me so strongly At 21 years old, when I said, I'm going to move to Los Angeles and front a hair metal band, that's my life's ambition and my life's dream. She didn't say, what's your backup plan? There was no backup plan. I didn't need one because I believed and she believed, and that was enough. Unconditional love. So we each have a choice to make. We can choose fear, or we can choose unconditional love. And there's a great old Cherokee Indian story about a chief and his grandson. And the chief says to his grandson, there are two wolves inside you, and one wolf is fear, and anger, and jealousy, and rage, and scarcity. And the other wolf is love, and abundance, and compassion, and trust. And the grandson looks at his grandfather and says, but which wolf wins? And his grandfather says, whichever wolf you feed. So you have a choice right now that you need to make. Will you choose fear, or will you choose unconditional love? What will you choose?